Are you tired of the same old pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 4,000 hours of the best pro wrestling events from over 110 of the biggest names in the industry from over 15 countries around the globe. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network. Don't you want to sound rich?
Welcome to the 62nd episode of Social Suplex's podcast about AEW with a proclivity for positivity. Welcome to All Things Elite. I am your host, Floyd Johnson, and with me today in the first part of a special two-part episode is the heart of the Elite, Tiffany. How are you doing today, Tiffany?
I am great. How are you, Floyd?
I am great. We got a big weekend ahead. I think I was supposed to leave for Vegas yesterday, so it is.
I know it was either today or tomorrow for me. I can't remember, but yeah, it's rough knowing that we should be headed there for sure.
A little disheartening. I figured Memorial Day in Vegas was going to be the new yearly tradition for me. So
it will pick it back up next year.
Yeah, we will definitely pick it back up next year.
We already have our tickets. So.
we definitely, yeah. That is cool that we already have our tickets to roll over. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I love that option.
All right, so just to let everyone know that's listening, we are recording on Thursday. This is a special two-part episode, as in the first part is going to be me and Tiffany. We're going to go over Dynamite from last night, and then we're going to preview Double or Nothing, and then there's going to be kind of a second preview with getting Amy's thoughts. It's just going to be basically getting Amy's thoughts. You're going to get my thoughts in the first section. But before we start all that, every AEW pay-per-view, we give away a free viewing of the show. This year we ran the contest for Double or Nothing, and then I also did additional content, additional group where you could also gain an entry by supporting our friend Jay Walker on his YouTube. So I took all the tallies.
We love Jay. Jay's fantastic.
Jay is, part of our little family, it's like
he really is.
Yeah, so it's like
Jay is actually salt of the earth, not like MJF. Jay really is salt of the earth, and we absolutely love him. So support Jay Walker. He has Pro Wrestling Tees. He has YouTube. Follow him. Buy his stuff. He is great.
Yeah, he's a good dude. So I was like, hey, give out an extra entry. So when I was going through the entries last night, I was like, man, I'm going to make sure do something special so we can encourage people to continue to support our show and can continue to get in the contest and know there's winners. I went ahead and pulled two winners. The first winner was at PokeMatt438. Matt entered by subscribing to Jay's channel and commenting on his page. He won. I've already contacted Matt, got his information, so he'll be watching Double or Nothing for free. And the second one made me super happy, and I promise you it was completely random. A friend
I'm
of
so
the
happy too, though.
yeah, friend of the show, Jackie Rodriguez at Love You Make 24. I was very happy to she was one of my favorite people that I got to tell they won. She won the second viewing of Double or Nothing. She'll be watching on BR Live. I already contacted her, gave her the credentials. So both award winners have already been given their awards. Congratulations to Matt and Jackie. We at All Things Leap, me, Tiffany, Amy, we hope you enjoy the show, and that it comes from our heart. Yeah, we do it to support AEW. That's the only reason. I want people to, of course, listening to our show. But if you come to listening to our show or supporting AEW, if you have to pick two, I'm always gonna go with supporting AEW because love the product.
Yeah, and if you didn't win, just try next time because, like Floyd said, we do this every pay-per-view. But make sure you still order the show because we're going to be talking about it here soon. But it is a absolutely ridiculously stacked card that is going to be worth double the price to buy it. Absolutely, just without question. I'm so excited for it, and we're going to talk about it. But definitely purchase it on BR Live or Fight TV internationally and support AEW and support them. Because they have not let up once since this pandemic started. They have delivered show after show. People have worked so hard. And, in turn, I know times are rough, but if you are able to afford it, I wouldn't pass it up. I think it's going to be well worth it.
Absolutely. And that's what's important. And I had talked to Tiffany, and next time we're going to be giving the show away a little bit earlier. So you can, so people wouldn't be waiting on us to decide whether they're going to buy it. So we're going to be giving away a little bit earlier. It wasn't even something I thought of, but that's why it's good to have good partners because they think of things you don't think of, which is great.
Exactly. Go back and forth to help each other out.
Yes. All right, and this episode of the show, as always, is brought to you by Power Slam TV. Use the code Social Suplex at powerslam.tv and get the first month free. Just know there's over 4,000 hours of content from wrestling brands all around the globe. And I'll give you our socials. Please support us by following at AT Elite Pod, at Social Suplex, at Phoenix AEW, and last but not least, at All Elite Tiffany on Twitter. Make sure you're following to get the news from our page and her page, and make sure you go to YouTube and follow Heart of the Elite. That is Tiffany's YouTube page, and that is our great companion piece to our show, and it gives you all the information as she gets into it.
Perfect.
All right. So what we're going to do, I was like, we go through the whole week, but because we got kind of a lot to cover, we're going to condense it. We're just going to talk about Dynamite from last night and a Double or Nothing preview. So Dynamite from last night started pretty hot. We kicked off with Moxley versus 10, a.k.a. Preston Vance, in a non-title match. What did you think of this match, Tiffany?
I enjoyed it. I think Moxley has done a phenomenal job as champion considering, he's a face champion and he can't feed off the crowd who love him. So it's hard. And I hope that which I know we'll get into this more when we preview the pay-per-view, but I hope he gets the chance to be champion when the crowds return because, it definitely changes the momentum and just the whole thing when you're a champion and you don't have that crowd. And then it just, they've done a great job on the shows, but for him personally, I'm sure it's rough to not be able to go out there with that title and have a crowd behind you. But I think he's done a great job with it on the mic, just everything. He just brings it. And I actually enjoy the Dark Order so much now that I've never disliked them, but the more they build, and now that we have Mr. Brody Lee and 10 as an addition, I think it's kind of it's just getting where it needed to be, and I kind of always knew it would, but, everything takes time to build, and like we've talked about a million times on the show, patience and just let things happen. But, yeah, I thought the match itself was awesome. I think it was a really great way to get people hyped for the match. On Saturday, you had Brody Lee come out, and he has 10 take a knee, and Brody on the mic is just so good, and he is just nailing the Exalted One role. It works so well for him. So I enjoyed the match, and then after the match, we saw kind of I don't know if he broke his arm, but he definitely, Moxley put Ten's arm into a chair and kind of definitely, Brody Lee sacrificed 10 to leave still holding Moxley's title. So I thought it was a really, like you said, it was a hot start to the show, definitely builds that title match. It was a great opportunity for 10 to get out there with Moxley, so that's awesome because he's still such an up-and-comer with a ton of potential. So, yeah, I thought it was a great way to start the show.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job with 10 being in the match with them. He hung with them for a while. They definitely see a bright future in 10, especially as the right-hand man of Mr. Brody Lee. Loves him that, or Mr. Brody, as he likes to be called. But, yeah, Mox finished it off. It's funny. He gave him his paradigm shift. He then gave him a Gotch pile driver.
Dude, that pile driver was so sick. That was amazing.
Yeah, so then he gave him the elevated paradigm shift to really put him down. And as Tiffany mentioned after the match, he basically wrapped Preston Vance's arm in a chair, told Mr. Brody Lee he had the option to bring him his belt to save his boy's arm. And Mr. Brody Lee said, we all must make sacrifices. And he left with the belt. Mox took the chair, rammed it on it, and broke 10's arm. And, yeah, so he sacrificed his arm for the Dark Order. So,
and
yeah.
But they're not a cult. I mean, they're not. It's fine. It's just sometimes you do something for your friends. So
he does not like it when you use that word. It is one of the banned words from Mr. Brody. So
yeah, but I thought it was a great opener. And I'm excited to see Vanilla Vance or Preston Vance or 10 now in this role. I think people. Some know he's been part of Cody's entourage in the past. He's Nightmare Family, or was Nightmare Family, and he's very talented, trained in Georgia, and he's got a really bright future ahead of him. And if you go to his social media and just kind of, I think it's on his Instagram, if you post his story, he's got a pretty good story as well. So I'm just really happy for him. And I was thinking kind of way long term, because who knows how long this 10 and Dark Order, part of him being with them. But if there comes a point when they're really confident in him and he turns on them and takes the mask off, he just has a great look, and he could be an immediate babyface, and I think do really well down the road. So I'm just really excited for him.
He's a handsome guy, definitely. The next match we had is MJF, accompanied by Wardlow, with Tiffany's second favorite wrestler, Mr. Fun Size Marco Stunt.
He's your favorite. I knew you were going to do that.
Your second favorite wrestler. It's cool. We all
have a second favorite.
We all have a second favorite wrestler. And it's great that yours is Marco Stunt. He did not fare well in this match. MJF pretty much dominated. Marco had a couple hope spots, but in the end, MJF hit him with the shoulder breaker, then the salt of the earth armbar, and Marco submitted. After the match, which actually is what, kind of got it a little bit more fired up, MJF gave Marco an uppercut with the Dynamite Diamond Ring. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus came out to Marco's aid. MJF and Wardlow stormed off. Did you have any overall opinions of this match?
I mean, I was fine with seeing MJF beat up Marco. I have no personal problem with Marco. He's just not my favorite, but everyone, it's fine.
Yeah, he's your second favorite. I just said that.
Stop. But no, I mean, it did exactly what it was supposed to do. I don't think anyone thought going into Double or Nothing that Max was going to lose, but like you said, there were those few hope spots. I think Marco definitely has a place in AEW, and but I'm an MJF fan. I don't like to admit that often, but every now and then I swear, whenever I'm on the show, you get me somehow to like talk about how much I like Max, and it's not fair. Why do you do this to me, boys? But yeah, I enjoyed the segment. I mean, the match itself, it did what it needed to do. It brought out Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, and I think everybody is just like clamoring for Wardlow versus Luchasaurus down the road, and I know I'm one of those people, so I one of these days we're going to get that. It's going to be epic. But yeah, Mac, it did what it needed to do. It got me more excited for Jungle Boy versus MJF on Saturday, and I thought it was really funny when MJF was like, "I'm so salt of the earth." Like, it was just a funny way to say it, and I really enjoyed that. But yeah, I thought it was good, and but it went how I figured it would. But I think we all kind of expected, Marco to not win on Dynamite against MJF, but it was good.
They did a great job on commentary. Got to get a shout out to the commentary team. Marco's stunt being short, and they did a good job of telling how that can be hit to his advantage, how every kick, punch, headbutt he does is like an uppercut, because he's not going to hit you straight going forward. He's going to hit you going up towards your chin, and how that can knock you off guard. I just I'm watching the show. I'm like, this dude has no chance. But they actually sold me on his moves being effective, because when you look at it,
yeah, that's true.
You when you look at it, you see, oh yeah, every shot he does is like an uppercut. I mean,
and the thing is, like, that is completely valid, and you're always going to have that speed and things like that versus someone, like even in matches where Cody's had matches where he said, if he's the smaller guy, that like against Lance, the longer it goes, the more it's in his favor. And things like that are very valid. So it is. That's a great job, like you said, on commentary to point out those things that I might not have thought of, or like you didn't think of. And then you're going, wait, they're actually right about that. So yeah, hats off to them, because that's great.
And the next segment is a segment some like 20-something years in the making. One of the best two people on the mic in wrestling. We have Jake the Snake Roberts and the Nightmare Family head coach, Arn Anderson. They join Tony Schiavone in the ring to discuss Saturday's match between their clients. I thought this, because, I mean, they said a lot, and I'm not just going to go through every word they said, but I thought this was amazing. This is like,
it was,
the 8-year-old inside of me was just giddy, and I really was. I was actively giddy, waiting on this, because Arn Anderson, I remember Jake was the DDT guy, and Arn Anderson was the first person I ever saw to use the DDT, like, other than Jake, as a finisher. And, me and my brother was a Jake fan, I was an Arn fan. We'd always discuss whose DDT was better, And
that's awesome.
We would always talk about whose DDT is better. So we was like, man, when they wrestle one day, and one day never really came. I mean, they never came, because they never had a one-on-one match. And, because they generally probably were on the same side, as far as heels, faces. And I believe Jake was in WWF when the Brainbusters were, but they were working as a heel tag team. He was working as a singles face. They really didn't cross paths. So apparently the only match they were ever in was like the 90-something Royal Rumble, and they weren't even in the ring at the same time. So that's crazy that these two legends, these two masters of the mic, were away from each other. What did you think about the segment? Did you have any like memorable lines that they said? I'm gonna cover this more as an overview than like a line by line. So, what do you think?
No, you're good. I thought it was awesome, just because, like you said, you had two of the absolute best in there, and I'm just, Arn has just been so cool as the coach of the Nightmare Family. I enjoy when they do like the coach's corner. He still has it. Just hearing him talk, I always enjoy that. I know Arn's your guy, but I really do enjoy him as well. And then seeing Jake the Snake back, and he just hasn't lost it at all. He gets on the mic, and it's just like, dude, like, no time has passed. He's just so sleazy. I was not a fan of him calling Brandy a bimbo, but I mean, he's just so good at getting under your skin, and seeing them two, kind of almost want to have, brawl it out right there. I mean, like you said, that was just kind of like, what am I really watching this right now in 2020? But it was good. Like, it was really good. I thought the segment was great. I just was a little bit, if personally, like, I get why we didn't see Archer and Cody, because we had a huge build last week with them, and the match, I mean, it's for the title. They had several commercials throughout Dynamite that really got me pumped up for the TNT Championship match. But I guess when I saw the segment advertised, I just assumed it would be the last build for that match, so I thought we'd see Archer and Cody. So after it initially ended, I was a little bit bummed. I was like, oh, okay, no Cody, no Archer. But as I got further away from it and rethought it, I was like, well, who cares, because the segment was great. Everyone's already so hyped for the TNT Championship match. And, I mean, the segment was just good. Like, seeing two of the best on the mic, and then poor Shivani in there. And, it was an excellent segment, and I have no complaints. I just initially was like, wait, I thought for sure we'd see the Cody and Lance come out, but it didn't hurt the segment at all. It just surprised me a little bit, but it was great.
You know what? I can, to build on that, I was missing that fire, that internet meme worthy, that video going around Cody go home promo.
Yes, thank you. Like, I know, it was me too. That's like a given on
yes.
a Dynamite before a pay-per-view. So.
Yeah, and it's usually like really hot, and Bleacher Report sharing it, and ESPN sharing it, because he cuts
and the Rock
promo.
complimenting it.
Yeah, and it's just like, no, they wouldn't get it. And it was just like, I am going to trust the process, but I can honestly say I agree with you. That felt like that was missing. Like, the Arn and Jake thing was amazing. Life thing that I like going on. I like that they called each other out. Jake saying, Arn, you're not used to being by yourself, hinting towards the Four Horsemen situation. Arn Anderson telling Jake that Mike Tyson might knock him out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, and letting him know. And, oh my God, when Jake's cutting his promo, the uninterested look on Arn Anderson's face was like.
Priceless.
He's like, he couldn't say that. I'm like, I could tell you moments from this. I could watch it again right now. It was a very exciting moment, but it's just something about that scathing, borderline pipe bomb, borderline shoot in it style that Cody has, where he just cuts to the core of his opponent, and I ain't get it. And it's like,
yeah, and I think that's where I'm at with you. Like, I don't like, when I talk about the lack of that, it's not dismissing the Arn and Jake segment. It's kind of a separate thing to me. I just expected, because they are the two backing Archer and Cody, that somehow it would all tie in together. So as on its own, that was such a great segment. It's definitely not like a complaint. It's just, I'm with you. We didn't even see Cody on the show at all. That blew my mind. But I also noticed before Revolution, because we were in Kansas City, same thing. Yeah. We did not get Cody on the Go Home show, which was another surprising. So that's 2 pay-per-views in a row. And I don't know if it's the way Cody thinks everything through so thoroughly, and this just kind of came to mind as you mentioned us not getting the Go Home promo, and that we didn't get it before Revolution as well. If it's kind of more Cody's the way he kind of thinks things through so thoroughly that he didn't defeat Jericho for the title. Has he lost the ability on the show to come out there and deliver a promo like that right now? Then he lost to Max, and now he's on a roll. But if he wins that title, then he's back, and he can come out there and say those things because he feels he can back them up. Like, if you notice, if anyone asks Cody about MJF now, he constantly says, he beat me, I've lost the right to talk shit about him. I mean, and that's just how dedicated Cody is to everything that happens in AEW and on Dynamite. So I can almost see that being something that is purposely not happening, but I definitely missed it.
Yeah, like every one of his matches has a consequence. When he loses, there's a long-going consequence. Like when he lost to Jericho, he can't get to be the world title champion again. And now he lost to MJF. It's like I can't say anything about MJF. He sticks to his guns when it comes to the results, and wins and losses actually matter. And I just want to point that out to people. I'll point that out to people. When they say wins and losses matter, it's that there's a consequence to each wins and loss. Storyline, it matters. You know, I know they got the stats and all that stuff, but what's more important is that your win and your loss has an impact on the show going forward. So
absolutely,
I just saw that as a complaint. Someone just posted, you know, it's one of those things that I generally just scroll by, and they were like, well, they say the rankings matter, but they're doing these number one contender things. I'm like, it's two separate things. I don't even know how you're confused. But
yeah,
yes,
definitely.
So the Bastard Pac had a message from England for Orange Cassidy. Ray Phoenix is going to send you to your maker, Orange Cassidy. Consider yourself warned. I miss Pac. I think when it comes to intensity in a promo, I don't think there's anyone better in wrestling than him. Like, when he cuts the promo, he sounds like he will kill you. Like, he could say hi to you, and it sounds like a threat. It's just like, and that is talented. It's like, no matter what he says, this sounded like, you know what? I'm sending Ray to take you out. Not to win the match. We don't care about that. I'm sending him to take you out. Then we had Orange Cassidy escorted out by the best friends, but they left. And then Ray Phoenix, Pentagon, they mentioned during the show that Pentagon is stuck in Mexico. They have a travel ban, so he can't make it. Of course, the Bastard Pac is stuck in England. They have a travel ban, so that Death Triangle is just one person right now. But hopefully that all gets resolved soon. But then they went on to put on, I don't want to understate it or overstate it, I felt like match of the night, an amazing match.
It really was.
It was just very entertaining. It's like Orange Cassidy was doing this thing with the pockets, and then, you know, he kind of got pissed.
Yeah. That's the perfect way to do Orange Cassidy, because, you know, he holds true to that personality, but then there are times where you get more, and it's just like, and it validates him being there, which, you know, I think most people are all about him, but there are those ones that still just can't just accept it and have fun and stuff and take it maybe a little too seriously. But then he has those moments and you're like, who belongs there? Like, yeah, I agree. I thought it was really entertaining. I enjoyed it very much.
The finish of the match came when Orange Cassidy reversed out of Ray Phoenix's finisher, and he was doing his air raid. Kip Sabian carried a ladder out to the ramp and perched himself on it. Cassidy turned around to look at Kip Sabian up on the ladder. Ray Phoenix hit a low blow and got the roll up for the win. So I actually like the result there, because it really does still protect Orange Cassidy. Ray Phoenix, of course, is Ray Phoenix. I think I've always said when it comes to in-ring work, it's to me the best wrestler in the world. So it might be somebody else, you know, so other people have other opinions, and I don't think you're wrong. I love watching Ray Phoenix work. Anytime he's in the ring, he does something that I've never seen before. He makes something look incredibly difficult, or he does something that I think should injure him, and then it doesn't. And he did that in this case, because after the match, as you might expect with a match that features 9 people, there was kind of a Donnybrook. Frankie Kazarian Scorpio came out to check on Orange Cassidy. Jimmy Havoc went to aid Kip. Things broke down into a brawl. Colt Cabana springboarded off the ropes. They actually, in the review, we missed something. Ray Phoenix does this springboard moonsault, and literally no one doesn't touch anybody.
Yeah, it was beautiful, and he just floated down. But man, he definitely went back right to the.
No one caught him. No one got in the way. It was the wrestling equivalent of an air ball, but it looked painful. I was like, what the hell? Again.
But, we have 9 people in a ladder match on Saturday, so those things might happen again, unfortunately.
So nothing is like, and then you find out it's a show, you're like, oh, Ray, you like, in my mind, I'm like, I hope he's okay. He might not make it to the show. Oh, he walked away just fine. Ray Phoenix. That is Ray Phoenix. So, Colt Cabana did a springboard off the ropes. I didn't even know he could do that anymore.
Cool. I know. I thought the same. I mean, I've been a fan of Colt Cabana for years. Like I'm originally from Northwest Indiana. I did all the ROH and like indie shows in the Chicago area back in the day before I moved to Kansas City. Very much a fan of Colt Cabana, and as you get away from certain promotions, not like on purpose, but I didn't know that blew my mind. I mean, he's so good, and he's one of those guys kind of like Cody who's been around so long and you forget just how long they've been around because they're just as good and if not better and keep improving. And he actually even looked kind of like maybe slimmed down a little bit. Like, I don't know, he looked amazing, and I cannot wait to see him in this ladder match because I don't know, like when I hear ladder match, I don't think Colt Cabana, but then I see him do this springboard, and I'm like, and he's always one of those guys that just kind of surprise you like that. You're like, I know Colt Cabana is really good, and I think people forget how good he is, and I'm so excited to get to see him have this opportunity to go out there and shine, because I'm sure there are people even still who aren't 100% on board with who he is. I mean, he's so popular, but mainstream probably not so much, and I think this might be a moment where he breaks out and becomes that mainstream like name, because he just, it's one of those things when they signed him, how they were like, just makes sense, you of course you should be in AEW, and he should be, because even if he wasn't completely right in the movement with like Cody, Matt, and Nick and everybody, he was still doing those things on his own, so bringing it together just makes sense, and he's just so great. So I'm really excited, and I thought that, when he came out and did that, I was just like, what the heck? Like, that was amazing.
Yeah, he's one of those guys, and like I said, I've seen him remind people that he's a wrestler, and it's just like, because he's, it's more of a compliment than anything, because he's so good at everything else. When he's a commentator, a backstage guy, the comedy guy, he's so good at it. You forget that, just in the ring, one-on-one, he can wrestle really well. So
that's so true.
Yeah, so like I said, I just forgot how athletic he can be, and it's like it was pretty cool seeing it. Then we had, so they're all going to
real quick.
Yeah.
Are you moving on to the next match, or are we still? Because I wanted to talk about real quick the Pac thing at the beginning before we move completely on. I just wanted to mention, because I always enjoy Pac, but I have to say that he's never, like, if I make a top 10 list, he's never on it. But it's not that I don't like him, but I have to say, and I think this is something in general that's going to be, I always try to find the positive in everything, and the positive of the pandemic and the effect it's had on wrestling is when people come back that we haven't seen in a while, I think it's going to make you appreciate them so much more. Even if, like I said, I actually, there's no one in AEW that I don't like, that I absolutely hate, or like, I don't hate anybody, but I mean, he just wasn't someone I would put on my top 10 list, even though I enjoy his matches. But when I saw him and the Death Triangle and just all of that, I was so excited, because I was like, oh my God, that's like it. We haven't seen him on there in a while, and just referencing the Death Triangle, because it just started to get going, and then all this happened, and there were travel bans and stuff. So it just, I thought it was awesome. It was, and like Floyd said, he could say the nicest thing to you and still sound like he is going to kill you. So he's so good, but it just it made me appreciate him all the more because we haven't really seen him. And I think, in terms at least of wrestling, if there's a positive to come of the fact that we haven't been able to see people on the show, which we'll get towards the end of the show when we talk about the end of Dynamite, there's even more of that. But even people that you wouldn't maybe have necessarily on your top 10 list, even if you like them, you're going to feel that much more excited, because that's how I felt. And I also felt that way when I saw Butcher and Blade in the audience. I was like, dude, it's Butcher and Blade. I was so excited. So, but yeah, I thought that Pac video was exceptional. So I just had to mention that.
Yeah, I put in all caps on our Twitter, the Butcher and the Blade are in the building, because I was like, yes, I was like, I'm so excited that, our people are slowly coming back.
Yes, and it just makes it exciting because, it really does. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, and when in wrestling, I think we take a lot of things for granted, and I think this, as, I'm hoping in general, that this will make a lot of people more appreciative of things moving forward. And I think not just in wrestling, but since this is about wrestling, we're talking about that. But I also have to say real quick, just on a personal note with Floyd and I, that I definitely think when we met Butcher and the Blade and the Bunny in Kansas City, like, I already thought they were already growing on me. And then they were like literally the nicest people ever, like hugging us and just smiling and so nice that I just immediately grew fonder of them after that. So I was just so excited to see them in the crowd on last night.
Yeah, and the Butcher's a Buffalo Bills fan, and you got to respect that because they haven't been good in forever, and he still roots for them. Got to respect that.
That's some loyalty.
That is loyalty. So, when it comes to football, that's what I like, a person that sticks with their team. And you can't be a fair weather Bulls fan and be a Bills fan because the weather's not fair very often. So there you go. All right, the next match is we had a tag team match. We had the AEW World Champion Nyla Rose carrying Sheeta's kendo stick, and Dr. Britt Baker, DDS, versus Hikaru Shida and the Galaxy's greatest alien, Chris Statlander. In this match, there was this one spot, and I'm only asking you because you might hear things that I don't. But when they did the hip toss to Nyla in the corner, she looks like she landed pretty nastily on Britt's knee. Have you heard anything about Britt's status?
I have not. The only thing that I don't want to use this as any kind of hope, because I'm hoping Britt's okay. I was really worried because we saw Doc Samson. She was on the ring apron. He was over there during the match talking to her. But I did notice last night, Sonny Kiss posted a little kind of really quick video on his Instagram, and Britt was in the background of it. And she wasn't necessarily part of the video, and she was just kind of sitting there, but it was well after the show, so I was hoping it was recent, but I don't know for sure. I don't want to use that as a reference or a point of reference because I don't know how recent it was, but it kind of made me feel good that hopefully it was because when I looked at it, it was posted 5 minutes ago, so it wasn't from way earlier in the night, and I was maybe that means Britt's okay, maybe they're hanging out or something. I don't know, but I don't know for sure because I posted later posts that I had on my phone, from earlier, so I just don't want to use it as a point of reference. But in general, I have not heard anything. They did do the rundown of the matches for Double or Nothing after this match, and they did not take away or mention anything when they showed the graphic for Britt's match. So I'm just hoping that it was just one of those in the moment, where it felt really bad, but it wasn't so bad. But in general, I've looked, I haven't seen anything reported.
Yeah. When I saw it, I did not see it, or I saw the move happen, but I didn't see how she landed. Actually,
same here.
Yeah, it was people on messengers did you see that? Did you see that? And I'm watching, I rewind it 30 seconds, and I'm like, oh, and I make the crazy face, oh my God, that looked like that hurt. And yeah, so of course you have in all the fandom, you have some people extreme that she had to tear an ACL. I'm a more positive person, so I'm hoping, it's not that. I hope it's nothing that'll keep her out too long. Britt's probably on one of her. I don't want anyone to get hurt ever, but she's probably on one of her hottest streaks as a wrestler right now. Her character is hitting all the right notes. So this would suck if this was all injuries suck. Don't want anybody hurt. I want to make that clear. But especially right now with how hot she is, as far as her character and how much it's getting over, it would suck for her to get injured now.
Yeah, the timing would just make it all the worse, and I'm just really, really hoping that it's nothing serious, and in the moment it just felt it. So hopefully we'll have an update on that soon. But I did, like I said, and again, it was live, so, they were probably still seeing what was going on, but I was really hoping, I felt a little more confident when they ran the graphics and advertised the match, with Britt's match for Double or Nothing, so I'm hoping that's a good sign. And then, like I said, later on after Dynamite, saw Britt in the background of Sunny's little Instagram video. So I'm really, really, really hoping, because I just, it would kill me right now, especially like Floyd said. Britt is just on such a hot streak, and it's only going to keep getting bigger and bigger, and I just would hate to see something like that sideline her.
Yeah. We will retweet it, send it out on Twitter. Make sure you're following the All Things Elite Twitter and Tiffany's Twitter. You'll get the update as soon as we see anything, because we're always on Twitter. So
I am constantly making sure I'm staying. I try not to miss a beat. So
yes. Match ended. Nyla pinned Cheetah with the Beast Bomb. After the match, Nyla got her favorite accoutrement, her table, and she was ready to put Cheetah through it. It actually worked against her in this case, because Statlander jumped in to try to assist. Cheetah then suplexed Nyla off the top rope through the table, so Nyla got a little taste of her own medicine leading into their title match at Double or Nothing.
Holy Cheetah.
Yeah. I was like, she is surprisingly strong.
And also, I want to say Chris Statlander as well. When she had Nyla up on her shoulders, I was just like, dude, I was so impressed. And then, that superplex from Cheetah. I 100% want Nyla to retain the title. We all know I love Nyla so much. I kind of like the Moxley situation. I want to see her have a run more with the title where she has the opportunity to be in front of the live crowd. And we'll talk about that more when we discuss our preview and predictions for Double or Nothing. But I mean, you can't dismiss everyone loves Cheetah, so I don't need to convince anybody. But I mean, that was just impressive. I love Cheetah. That was just a moment where I was like, I think a lot of people, I saw a lot of holy Cheetahs on Twitter after that, and rightfully so. That was super impressive, and hats off to Nyla as well, because they couldn't have performed that spot better if they tried. I mean, I think it was perfectly done, executed by both parties, and it was beautiful to see, and just the strength of Cheetah, that was really, really cool.
Yeah, when you look at this match, you're looking at the time we've had off, and you know how sometimes bad things can have good results. Well, before it happened, we were looking at a match between Nyla and B. Well, B got stuck in the travel, so it was kind of this gap, and there was no real contender. Because Nyla wasn't on the show, they took that time, and Cheetah went on this hot streak, and they have really, really built her up, and it has really set up her as a real threat to beat Nyla Sunday, which, if it may have happened a month or two ago, I don't know if everybody would have bought it. So it's like the time has built up this rivalry, and I'm looking forward to the match. No DQ, anything goes match. That's going to be great.
Absolutely.
All right, so we get Alex Marvez interviewing Jon Moxley in the back, and he says Brody Lee is going to sleep, and he'll have lost the match, and whatever power he thought he had, it was nice knowing you. Brody Lee, I said early in the night that he needs to win this match because, he's doing it for all of his followers. So I am really looking forward to Saturday. We'll talk more about our predictions and stuff later. Sean Spears Network, SSN, had some breaking news. Spears claimed Dustin Rhodes has retired.
Fake news. Fake news.
And then he asked why the chairman of the AEW doesn't have a match at Double or Nothing. So he challenged Dustin to a match this Saturday. I haven't heard anything about Dustin Rhodes retiring, said Jim Ross. So it's booked for this Saturday. At Double or Nothing, we're going to have Sean Spears versus Dustin Rhodes. Hopefully Dustin is recovered from that beating he got from Lance Archer and, be his normal, natural self against Sean Spears. Then it's main event time. We had the Spanish God, perennial Dynamite main eventer, Sammy Guevara, against broken Matt Hardy, who's representing the Elite. I was just thinking, if you take, the Elite out of it, I don't think any, other than maybe Jericho, I don't think anyone's main evented Dynamite more than Sammy G.
Sammy G is freaking amazing. I know we've always liked him, but I find myself tweeting more and more about him. Is kind of how I know that someone's really won me over, because my Twitter is predominantly Cody. So when I have people that I like enough to constantly talk about, and I feel that's happening more and more with him. Yeah, you're right. He is the guy. It's Jericho, and then it's Sammy G. Who would have thought? But I'm so happy it's worked out that way, because he's so good.
Yes, it's funny because he, when they talk about wrestling and they talk about the different roles you take, and he's like, you should give whatever role you're in, you should give it your all. I don't think anybody personifies that more than Sammy G. He is,
yeah, definitely.
He's Jericho's sidekick, and he is okay with it. But when Jericho's not there, he hams it up. Did you see the signs that he put up? And he's like,
yes.
I was cracking up. He gets
and that's what it is. Like you said, he takes that. He is his Jericho's sidekick, but you can take that and be a sidekick and feel like you're kind of second par or whatever. But then there's Sammy, who just goes out there and makes it his thing, and it's gotten him so over.
Yeah, he might be the best sidekick ever. I mean, he really I can't think of anybody better.
He's such a good friend. He gets hit by a golf cart and he's still out there, and he even with a neck brace, the poor guy. I mean, man, I wish he was my sidekick. Sorry, Floyd. I think I might have to replace you with Sammy Guevara.
I will fight Sammy for that spot all down.
My money. I don't know who my money's on. I feel like that could be a evenly matched.
No, but they had back and forth. They actually had a really good back and forth match. Matt Hardy, the old pro, versus Sammy G. Their styles kind of melded together. He in the end, Sammy went for a shooting star press. Hardy knew better. He hit Sammy with a twist of fate. That's how the match ended. Hardy looking for retribution for old Vanguard 1. He brought in a steel chair. The Inner Circle was shown on screen at the top of the ramp. They had Kenny Omega restrain the football goalpost, which, that's going to be the site of the stadium stampede. Jericho hit Kenny in the abdomen with Floyd, which is,
That's never going to not make me laugh.
Floyd's a heavy hitter, and in the end, you see these dudes on the stand. I don't know. I guess it's the stadium seats, and you're like, that's the Young Bucks, and they jump down to fight the Inner Circle. Of course, Inner Circle still had a bit of the advantage, and what was it? Hager was going for a slam on Matt. Matt jumped off his back, and all of a sudden you see running from 50 yards down the field in a full sprint, Hangman comes in and lariats Hager. And then it was amazing. It was a fight, and the Elite came out on top. And then Page walked away by himself in the distance because, he does that. He comes, beats people up, and then leaves and yelled for Hardy yelled at him, "Come on, Page." But the thing that made me laugh is somebody posted that if you watch BT this week, you'll get the reference. If you don't, someone says it was like Hangman ran from the woods of Virginia all the way to the stadium, just a clothesline hanger.
Well, it was worth it.
Yes, it was awesome. That was the go home episode of Dynamite. I thought it was a very solid episode. I thought it did everything it was supposed to do.
Yeah, I agree. I thought the main event, like we said, great match. Kind of was like low key hoping that was how we would get the closing, is the return of the Elite, and we did. I was so excited. Saw the Bucks, and then Hangman, just that sprint, it was so good to see them back, and just, the Inner Circle and the Elite brawling. It's so hard for me because there's part of me that's so bummed that Cody is not a part of this because it's the Elite, and I want that so badly. But then I'm like, well, if the trade-off is him going for the TNT Championship, I can't be too mad about it. So it's not a complaint, just one of those moments where because I love the Elite so much and I enjoy Cody with them so much, but it's just not, the place for it right now. But, oh, man, what a great episode. I thought it perfectly built to Double or Nothing. It got me excited. And, I thought it was like you said, it did what it was supposed to do. I feel like if you were on the fence for some reason about Double or Nothing and you watched that show, you're going to be like, God, I got to get this. They're going to be fighting in the freaking football stadium. And that's just the beauty of our guy TK. Like, we have a lot of things to our disposal to use that is really unique. So that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And I know we're going to get into Double or Nothing now in detail, but yeah, I just had to say that was a great main event. And the ending, seeing the Bucks and Hangman back was just, I had goosebumps. I was so excited. So that was a great, great way to end it.
All right. So this is the first of our previews. Again, on the first part, you will be getting me and Tiffany's thoughts on what we think are going to happen in pay-per-view. The next part where you hear Amy, it'll be just her thoughts because you won't need to hear my thoughts twice at that point. So at the buy-in, number one contenders match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship, which is, I think this will be the first pay-per-view since they were introduced that the tag team titles won't be on the line. The champions will be a little busy in a stampede. But it will be Private Party versus the Best Friends. You do not have to predict if you don't want to. It's just what are your overall thoughts on how the match is going to turn out, and if you have a prediction, give it to us.
All right. I think it's going to be an excellent match. I love that because we aren't getting a tag team title match, that we are getting a match to decide a number one contender. I think that's a great way since, like you said, the tag champs will be a little busy. I'm really torn on as far as like who I want to win this match because the Best Friends have really grown on me. But if I have to think who I want, I think I'm going to have to say a Private Party because I actually wanted them to win the initial tournament for the titles. I think they are just so great. And if you've been watching BTE, they've been hilarious on there as well. It just makes you love them even more. But I don't know. Prediction-wise, I'm honestly torn, so I'm really not sure. I'm trying to give those thoughts because I wanted to do a prediction video for part of the Elite later, and that's the beauty of AEW. We've talked about this a million times. Like, it's so unpredictable that it's so hard to just be like, all right, here's the matches, here's what I think's going to win. Because you can think of a million reasons on both ends why each person would win. I just know it's going to be a great way to start the night. And I'm pulling for Private Party, I'll say that.
Yes, one of the staples of AEW, one of the things that I yell about, and I yell to the masses, to people that have never watched wrestling. No one does the opening show tag match better than AEW. It's just Now you got Private Party. You got the Best Friends. They're going to tear it down. You got Orange Cassidy in the corner of Best Friends. I think we got to go with the Best Friends. I think they're hot right now. You know, I do love Private Party.
They are.
I want them to hit that gin and juice because I love Private Party. But I just think it's the Best Friends' time right now. I think the Best Friends are going to get the win at the buy-in. So, yeah, the buy-in is on BR Live, and it's free. So if you're on the fence about ordering it, check out the buy-in. I guarantee you watch it, you'll want to drop the money for the show. If you know. So I'm just telling you. Make sure you.
They're going to tear it up.
Yeah, it's going to check it in. I think the buy-in's at 6. Starts at 6 on BR Live, on pay-per-view.
I think it's 6:30, they said.
6:30. See, that's why you're here.
Yeah.
That's why you're here. See, you catch me when I'm messing up. 6:30 p.m. BR Live, Fight TV if you're international, or on your pay-per-view carrier, which I will be watching on DirecTV. The main card, we got first match. Not going any particular order, but I'm going from bottom to top on the AEW website. We got Jungle Boy versus MJF. I think I know who you think's going to win.
I think Jungle Boy is going to win.
You think Jungle Boy is going to win? I'm
do.
I'm going to go with Salt of the Earth Max. You know, I feel like there's some opportunities for some outside interference in this match. And if I had to go with who's better at cheating, I'm going to go with MJF.
That's a very good point. And I'm not saying I necessarily want Jungle Boy to win. I love Jungle Boy, don't get me wrong. But as we've well established, I have quite the love-hate, mostly love relationship with MJF, and I want him to win. But I just think it'd be really cool to see. You know, I feel like Jungle Boy could use this moment. Max is on a roll, and, you know, I don't think it would hurt him much to lose, and I think it would help a lot for Jungle Boy to get a win like that. So for me, I'm going to predict Jungle Boy, but I'll be secretly rooting for Max.
In the next...
not so secretly, but whatever.
In the next match, we got the not retired Natural Dustin Rhodes versus the chairman of AEW, Shawn Spears. Yeah, I think this is one of these two old pros. I think they know how to put on a good match. There's this Shawn Spears has been going a lot at Cody. Dustin Rhodes is really protective of Cody. Probably will have QT in his corner. I think they'll tear it down. I think this match has that ability to be one of those under the radar matches because it just got added on. There's not really any stakes. It's like, but Dustin feels like anytime he's in the spotlight, he's got to steal the show. I think it's going to be a hell of a match. But as much as it hurts me, I'm going with Shawn Spears to get the win.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on the match. It's kind of like Dustin and Hager as well. Like, it's one of those ones where you're not really thinking about it much, especially in this case because it just got announced, but it's going to happen and we're all going to be like, damn, that was good. But I have a bad feeling it's going to be Spears as well. I don't want that to happen by any means, but I could see, I'm going to have to agree with you. I think we'll see Spears get the win.
Spears is a sneaky bastard. He's trying to call Dustin out before he's probably fully recovered from Lance. He probably should stay out another couple weeks, but that sneaky bastard Shawn Spears is like, you know what, he's going to play on him, call him old, say he's retired to get him to come back a little too early.
Yeah, get under his skin and make him come back and take advantage of it. So
then if she is okay, we have our doctor, Britt Baker, DMD, versus Chris Statlander. How did her name go? The Galaxy's
greatest alien?
The Galaxy's greatest alien, I guess.
Is that it?
Yeah, I'm saying.
Well, we love her.
Yeah, we love Chris Stat.
She is the Galaxy's greatest alien. If that's not it, she is. So.
Yes. Against Britt Baker, like I said, Britt Baker's super hot right now, but Chris Statlander is like one of those people. She came out of nowhere and just like completely blew up. So you got two people very hot. Again, you're going to probably hear Tiffany's. I want to hear your thoughts on the match, but we're going to hear your predictions on your Heart of the Elite show. So how do you think this match is going to shape up as far as in ring?
I actually am really excited for it. I think these are two of the absolute best women in AEW, and Britt, and like you said, Britt, it's obvious, everyone knows she is just on such a hot streak, but then like you said with Statlander, same thing. She came in and just won everyone over because she's so good, and I think she's likable, and you have, but I think a lot of people really love Britt too, so it's an interesting pair up, but even though Britt is technically the heel, she's so, you kind of love to hate her and hate to love her, but I think the match is going to be really good. I hope Britt's okay for it. We're just going to go with it as though she is until we hear differently. But I'm really excited for it. I'm glad we're getting two women's matches on the pay-per-view as well. I think that's awesome. And with the role that Britt's on, I'm just glad she's getting a one-on-one match. And I want to see Statlander get that chance too, because there, like Floyd said, with the people being, Sheeta kind of stepped in and did a lot and earned what she's getting at Double or Nothing. But I'm excited to see Statlander in there in a one-on-one match and see what she does against Britt. I think it's going to be another one of those matches that just tear it up, and I think that they're going to kill it. And I'm really, really, really excited for it.
Yes, I'm excited too. Definitely, Britt Baker. Like I said, she's just on such a roll. I think who she is as a wrestler, she's finally kind of figured that out, and she is just literally where she's supposed to be. Chris Statlander is one of those people, athletic freak. She's tall, and she can go. I've seen her go, and I just think this is going to be a really good match. Britt Baker, I feel like I'm on a heel kind of roll, picking all the bad guys. So no,
you are.
I got Britt Baker. I got Britt Baker getting that lockjaw on Chris Statlander and getting a win. And then we have the match, and this is why I say I don't know the order this is going to be in, because I could see this match going first. We got the Double or Nothing Casino ladder match for AEW World Title shot. It's 9 competitors. The 9th competitor won't be announced to the show. Let me ask, do you have any guesses on who that could be?
I really don't, because until I knew for sure, obviously, that Hangman was in the Stampede, I said Hangman or Pentagon, but Pentagon is stuck in Mexico unless there is some secret that we don't know about that somehow they're able to bring him. That is my prediction, and I guess, and I would love to see that as a return. I know some people kind of came at me because I said someone who's on the roster that I would think would be a great surprise, and I don't think that a surprise has to be someone who's not signed or someone that's debuting, especially when we've had the pandemic and haven't seen a lot of faces in a while. I feel like anybody, that's what's so great about the roster, is it's full of so many awesome people that people love. So if Pentagon was the surprise, I would be very excited. But I'm going to stick with that because I just don't have another prediction. And even though the travel ban is probably going to make that not happen, I'm going to stick with that as who I'm hoping and who I'll throw that out there as my guess.
I am going to throw out my guess as the bad boy, Joey Janela.
Oh, okay. There you go.
It's a ladder. It's plunder. I mean, who's better at a plunder match?
All over it.
Yeah, I mean, this has Joey Janela's name all over it. They might go outside, but I don't. People bringing up the people that just came from the WWE. I don't think most of their 90-day clauses are up. I don't think that's how. I think they just got released 2 weeks ago. So as far as single competitors, I've also thought about Brian Cage. I don't think he was healthy yet, because I believe when he got hurt in January or February, he said he was going to be out 10 months. So I don't think it can be Brian Cage. He has massive biceps, and I believe that's what he tore. So I think the smart play is to focus on the people on your roster and go with Joey Janela.
I totally agree.
Joey Janela. If it's anyone outside of that, I would be happy. I mean, it's not like I'm against it, But it's just, I'd be fine. Like I said, Joey Janela, he's a plunder guy. This is his match. Why would you go against that? Who's all in the match? We got Scorpio, we got Frankie, we got Orange, we got Kip,
Darby.
Can't forget Darby.
Phoenix.
That promo tonight where he basically set everyone on fire. Phoenix.
I know. Yep.
And then
Who else do we
Luchasaurus.
have?
That's the 8th.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the 8th guy. So if I had to go on a limb again, not asking for your prediction, I'm going with Scorpio. I think it's his time. I think Scorpio gets the title shot, and I think he uses this to elevate to that next level of his singles career.
It's definitely a match, kind of like I've said, I feel like a broken record sometimes, but I think it just needs to be reiterated because it makes, to me, AEW so special that there's no person in that match that I'm like, well, I know they're not winning. And that, to me, is so cool. Like, that says everything about the way that they are presented and the match itself. Because if you're, and that's another reason why I say buy the show, because nothing, and you're like, well, I already know who's going to win, so why should I spend the money? But you don't, because you don't. I mean, like, there's no, I mean, I know there's a lot of people that think about AEW a lot, but I would say Floyd and I are on the very top of the list of people that are constantly thinking about AEW all the time. And the fact that we are, we can sit here and talk about this pay-per-view and throw out predictions, but at the same time, you're throwing it out there with very little confidence because it's just so unpredictable. And that, to me, makes every match mean more when you're just watching it because you genuinely have no idea. Even if you're like, well, it'll be a great match, but clearly this person's going to win. You don't get that at AEW, and that just makes it all the more special. But with this match, I'm still kind of trying to figure out if I have a prediction. Again, for that reason, it's so hard for me to predict AEW match outcomes, which is just the coolest thing to me, that it's so unpredictable. But I think I will say, in terms of Floyd's prediction, I would love to see that happen. Scorpio he is just so good. He has the look. He has the ability. He is so talented. So if that happened, that would be phenomenal. And then Luchasaurus, I feel like he's at an unfair advantage because I don't think he even needs the ladder. He could just reach up and grab the poker chip. So that's a little, I'm curious about that because he's just so big. But all jokes aside, I am super excited for this match. I think it is going to, again, and you say this about all the matches, but it's another one of those ones that's just very much probably going to steal the show, but I think there's quite a few matches on the card that are going to be show stealers.
Yeah, I tell everyone to watch out for Frankie K in this match. He's got some of the most memorable moments from his time in TNA, in the X Division, in the Ultimate X match. I think he's going to have that spot in there that reminds you that, he's still as good as he ever was. Huh? Colt Cabana. I forgot Colt Cabana. I think
that's what we're saying.
See, I thought I counted 8, but I counted 7.
Yeah,
boom,
I do. And and the reason that I thought for Colt was when you said about Frankie, it kind of made me think of what we were talking about earlier with Colt Cabana, is that Frankie's also that guy that he's been around for so long that you kind of just take him for granted a little bit. And then I think, again, kind of like with Colt, you're going to go out there and see this match and be like, again, I forgot just how freaking good Frankie Kazarian is and how freaking good Colt Cabana is. And if you're, especially with Colt, because he's still new to the AEW roster, if you weren't familiar with him, you will be after this. So I'm just really excited for this.
Yeah, definitely. Then we have the women's title match. We talked about it. No disqualification, no count out. Nyla Rose versus Hikaru Shida. I just think this is going to be physical. I think this is going to be done right. This is not going to be like a patty cake no DQ match. I think you're going to see whelps and bruises, and I think you're going to see a native beast retaining her title.
I think you are right. It is going to be brutal. I think that Shida, when you look at her, she's adorable. She plays piano. She does cosplay. She sings. But she is also a fierce competitor, and I think it's going to be I think whether or not she wins the title, it's kind of going to be her breakout moment, kind of like when Britt got the broken nose and just completely just won everyone over. We all know Nyla will go out there and put bitches through tables. That's what she does. Yeah, Shida carries a kendo stick, but I think this is going to be where we see that a different side of her, because I think she is going to just fight and want to win so much. And I'm going to give a prediction on this one, because even if it pains me to say as someone who loves Nyla so much, but I think Shida's going to get the title, because especially considering it is a no DQ match, no disqualification, anything goes. That means she can literally do anything to win, and I think she will. People love Shida. I think she is just. I think it's a great time to put it on her, even if there's part of me that says I wish Nyla could hold the title longer and have a better, more of a run in front of the live crowd. But there's always time for her to get it back. So I will say, even with a heavy heart, that I think Shida's going to do it, but it doesn't really upset me in the terms of because I love Shida and I want her to have that moment, because like Floyd said, she has stepped up and 100% just took advantage of a bad situation and made herself so much of a contender and a believable contender to beat Nyla, that I think she's earned it. And I'm going to go ahead and predict Shida to get the title.
Upset alert. And like I said, I've kind of been on the heel kick. At least I picked the face on the Double or Nothing for the ladder match. Then
you did.
We have the last three matches, the big matches on the card. We have Iron Mike Tyson presenting the TNT champion to the winner of the match, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. The American Nightmare Cody versus the Murder Hawk monster, Lance Archer. I'm just going to say this. I'm not going to be biased at all. Cody. He's going to figure it out. Just like he figured out how to beat Darby. He's going to figure it out.
Yeah. I agree. This is again another one where it's not predictable at all. I was talking about this match with another friend as well, and I said, on one hand, people want to say right off the bat, well, Archer's not going to lose this soon, but you got to lose at some point. And I'm thinking further back to Cody. If Cody loses this, what does he do? He can't fight for the world title. He lost at Full Gear. He lost against MJF. He is the face of the company. He is one of, if not the hardest working person in pro wrestling. There's always that handful of people who want to dismiss him as that guy because he's an EVP or because his last name is Rhodes. You got to get over that. I'm done. I'm so done with that argument. He has proven time and time again he has exceeded every expectation put on him because of his last name tenfold. I'm sick of that argument. He needs to win. He can't get the world title. He already lost against Jericho. He lost against Max. This is his time. This title needs to go on Cody. And I will defend that to my death because I feel so strongly about it. It's going to be an amazing match. I'm so excited for the match. I think it's going to be hard-hitting. I think it's going to be hard-fought. And this is, that moment that Cody needs. I think as Cody likes to say, romantic for him to be the first TNT champion. And I think that moment needs to happen. I'm predicting Cody, I know I'm very biased when it comes to him, and I'm rooting for him, but I think that my points are all very valid regardless of my personal feelings, and it has to be Cody, and I think that it's 100% earned, and that's who I'm predicting, and that's my hope, and I will defend that to the end.
I honestly can say, of course I want Cody to win, but if it goes the other way, I can see that too. I love Lance Archer. I really do. And I wish he was feuding with anyone but Cody, actually. I love the Big Texan. He's very good at what he does, and Jake Roberts, this resurgence in his career as a manager of all things has been amazing. This run of the Murder Hawk monster has been amazing, just destroying people. And it's like, I was like, the whole story with Cody is something like out of an 80s action movie.
Yeah.
This guy just has a problem with you. You don't even know why, and he's like going to beat up your whole family. And it's like, now this is the final scene of the movie, the fight scene that you've been waiting for, the hero versus the villain. Who's gonna win? And it's just like, I literally have no idea, but I'm gonna root for Cody. So it's amazing. It's amazing.
It is very unpredictable. I can spend another 2 hours talking about why I hope it's Cody and why I think he's earned it. And but just in storyline alone and taking out all of those like people that like to bring up things that get kind of tired and old on the internet, but just it is unpredictable, and it is such a true hero and villain. It's a perfect setup for a Cody match where you have that story, and that's what I love. And when you go into a Cody match, you have so much emotional investment and build, and I'm so excited for the match. And I mean, and I don't have a problem with Archer. I think he's great, and I'm glad he's in AEW. I definitely want him to lose this one. So yeah, we're Team Cody here, of course.
Yeah, is Brandy gonna get involved? Is Arn gonna spinebuster Jake? Is Jake gonna DDT Arn? There's so much going on outside of the match between two excellent performers, both former New Japan United States champions. I mean, come on, it's just like everything's there. Archer's the native Texan. Cody with the Texas roots. You got Mike Tyson, who might just knock everybody out and just walk out with the belt himself. You have no idea what's going to happen in this match.
Yeah, this match alone sells the pay-per-view, and then you have all these other matches we're talking about, and yeah, I mean, this match alone is worth it. So, it's gonna be something to see for sure. I'm excited.
Yes. Then we have the big belt. Big Platinum, as Cody loves to refer to it, the AEW World Champion. We have Jon Moxley against the Exalted One, Mr. Brody Lee. This match, I can honestly say, I'm be honest, I don't have a lot of expectations for. It's gonna have to be. They're gonna have to bring me into this match. Like, if I look at the whole card, this is probably the match I'm least excited about. So, I don't know if it's because of my history, the people they used to be that's playing against me, but or I don't know if it's that I think Jon Moxley is going to clearly win because he's not going to lose his first defense. I don't know what it is. I really don't. This is me talking it out. This is like therapy. I'm just letting my guts out right now. I don't know what it is, but it's just like this match is going to have to draw me in. They're going to have their work cut out for me because I honestly look at all the matches. It's like, I feel like every other one, it's like, I don't know who's going to win, but I don't think there's any way Moxley loses his first title defense.
I think, a lot of times you and I are very much the same person, and this is no different. I feel the same way. I don't want to dismiss that this isn't a big match. It is a big match, and I think that it will end up being where when we talk about the pay-per-view after, I think we're going to be talking about, wow, that really did end up being such a good match and this and that. But I'm with you, going into it, and it's not even the lack of build. We just talked about how great the opening segment of Dynamite was to build it. It's nothing anyone's doing wrong. I'm just with you, and it might be factors that are completely out of anyone's control. Like Floyd said, I can't see Mox losing his first title defense. I just can't. So, but at the same time, it doesn't even make it predictable because with AEW, you just don't know.
Because I didn't think Mox was going to beat Jericho. I did not think.
Yeah, I didn't either. Yeah, so it's like one of those never say never. But I'm with you. I think, going into it, every match has me pulled in, and this one, I'm not like, it's not that I don't care about it. I do. I want to see. It's AEW World Title. I care, of course, but in terms of when I look at all the other matches on the card, like I think it is. I think it's factors that aren't in anyone's control, but I think when we get to it, it's going to be great. And who knows what happens? Again, it's AEW, and they always find a way to. Everything works, and so I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens, but I'm with you. It's hard to imagine Mox, like, winning the title at Revolution and losing it at the next pay-per-view, especially given the circumstances in the world right now where he literally he had, one or two shows with fans? I mean, it would be crazy to me if that happened, but again, never say never. So we'll see. I'm just really looking forward, I guess, more to seeing what they do with it, because I don't have an expectation like Floyd said.
Yeah, it's just like I trust the process. I do. I trust. They have built a trust of doing the right thing over the last year of being a fan that I believe they're going to make the right decision. It's just I don't know, and if they,
it kind of almost makes it more exciting to go into it with that, because you don't have room to be let down, because you're just kind of going into it going, all right, let's see what happens, you know, and then most likely gonna win us over and completely, where we're, like I said, we're talking about it after going, damn, that was good. So I'm looking forward to seeing how we feel after the fact on that one.
And what will probably be the last match of the show, the main event of the show, we got the Inner Circle, Santana Ortiz, Sammy G, Jake Hager, and Chris Jericho versus the Elite, which is the Bucks, Hangman Page, Kenny Omega with Matt Hardy in a stadium stampede match. I have no prediction on the winner. I honestly don't care. I think this is going to be the most fun you've ever had watching a wrestling match in your life.
I absolutely agree.
They're just going to do crazy shit.
You consider all the people that are in the match and their ability to perform, but also to entertain. I can't help. I've liked the Inner Circle since they formed, and again, the pandemic, like I said, there were things where you can within wrestling where with AEW, they took every bit of advantage of making a bad situation good, and the Bubbly Bunch and just things like that, the Flim Flam Challenge. I don't know how you couldn't, if you didn't already like the Inner Circle, even if you want to root against them because they usually go against your favorites, I don't know how you don't love them. They're ridiculous. They're so good, so talented, and so entertaining. And it's almost like, this is why this works so well. It's like the heel version of the Elite, because the Elite are so talented and so entertaining. And you put Matt Hardy into the thing, and will we see that transformation mid-match of normal Matt and broken Matt again? Because I thought that was absolutely brilliant when they did that on Dynamite. Everyone was talking about that main event when they did the street fight, and this is going to just be that, on steroids. You don't know. I'm actually shocked that they said they're going to have a ring set up at the 50-yard line. I think I didn't think a ring is needed in this case, but maybe there is a plan that it's necessary, because it's Falls Count Anywhere. You've got the whole stadium to use, and I think they're going to. I think this is just going to be wild and fun, and just so much if you watch BTE 200. Again, you had, and it's so funny because all this came together, and then you think back to BTE 200 and Matt and Nick did that match, and now it kind of leads to this. Everything, no matter what, even if you don't know it at the time, everything is connected in telling a beautiful story in AEW, and I can't just say enough how much I appreciate how thought out things are and how long term the investment is, even when they have to rethink everything because of a pandemic. They have never once let up. And I'm so excited to see what happens. I have no prediction, like Floyd said. I just know it's going to be a wild ride, and it's going to be fun, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it's I have a couple friends coming over. We are staying in the limit, social distance, under 10. But yeah, I feel like we got to come up with some kind of drinking game for people jumping off the stadium steps and ladders and oh, man, because it's just going to be so fun. It's like I'm not copping out because honestly, in the end, in this match, it's like it's gonna be about the journey. Who wins? AEW is gonna build on it going towards the future, and it's gonna be perfect. It's gonna be great. But good Lord, what is Kenny Omega? One of the most creative minds in wrestling, and he has a whole stadium to play with.
I know. I can't even imagine the things he's thinking of doing. Right?
Yeah,
It's gonna be so great.
Yes, you've seen Matt and Nick when they basically stuck at their house and they do BTE 200 and put on a hell of a match. They have a whole stadium to play with.
Yeah, and you just say about Kenny Omega, and that's absolutely true. He is ridiculously creative. But then, not only that, we have Matt Hardy, we have the Bucks, we have Chris Jericho. We have, the minds going into this to be a fly on the wall as they might be discussing some ideas. It's going to be so good. And again, this is another thing where I say the TNT Championship match worth the price alone, and then you have the Stadium Stampede match where I would also say if there's one match and you order the show and you feel like you get your money's worth for one match alone, this is also that match. Same with the TNT Championship match. And then you factor in the ladder match, and you've got the Women's World Title match, and you've got all these other matches, and you're going, wait, this is all one card, and this is AEW. This is why 4 pay-per-views a year makes sense and why it works, because you have time to build and care about what you're watching. And the Stadium Stampede match, I didn't, when they announced it, I was just like, dude, and I just tweeted, maybe a week ago before they announced it, how I can't wait till they run a show at the TIAA Bank Field or whatever, and someday I think that will happen. But just to have a match there and see it play out with these guys is going to be exceptional.
Yes, Santana Ortiz, they're completely down for anything. Sammy,
yes, I love them.
Sammy G's already been hit by a golf cart this month. What's he gonna do next? I'm just like, yes, it's like I don't know what's gonna happen. Jake Hager is one of the most undercover funny people in wrestling.
He is. Oh, he doesn't even. Yes.
Yes,
he is. I love him.
Yeah, the expressions that he makes and things that he does, like how he took the clothesline from Hangman. It's just he has this comedic timing that you don't.
Him and Nick, Nick Jackson's the other one on the elite side, where like Nick just says something and it's like he's not. Like, I don't even know if he's trying to be funny, but he doesn't have to try. He just, the way he says it or his facial expression, and you just die laughing. And it's the same thing with Hager. And then also, are we going to see a rebirth of Vanguard 1? Is there going to be a Vanguard 2? I mean,
yes.
There's just a lot of things.
The Lake of Rejuvenation is always there, you know. Go to the Lake of Rejuvenation. You know, are we going to get to see some of Matt Hardy? Or are we going to see more Damascus? I think this is more of a Damascus situation. But, hey, I'm ready for it all. Do we see Senor Benjamin, right? Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, do we see Maxwell? I would love to see Maxwell pop up in this match. Maxwell clearly is training to wrestle, even if he's only like 3. He's always working with Matt. Give me Maxwell. I would love it. I'm not even gonna lie. I would love to see Zachary, Matt Jackson's kid. There's just so many factors where this could just be done so fun, so well, and they'll do it because I have no doubt. I never doubt them, and especially with this group of guys, with this canvas, oh my God.
Yeah. It's like, so it's absolutely. I have no idea what's going to happen. It's the greatest feeling in the world. Only thing I'm sad about is that I'm not there to watch it. But I think we're going to be able to experience it better on our big ass TVs. So
absolutely,
yes, we're going to see everything.
And we'll be back soon.
Yes, we will be back soon. I know it. Tony, I always say if you're listening, June 10th seems like a great day. Wednesday, June 10th. Great day to bring fans back. And honestly, I'm only
couldn't
really
agree more.
I'm not trying to be selfish, but I only really care about 2 people being in there. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. I'm just saying, if I make the trip, just let me in. Let
Yep.
me in. No, but no, yeah, this has been great. We've had a great time covering this. This has been we've been over a year, but this is pretty much the year anniversary of the first show. I know that's 10 days away, but you know the spiritual year anniversary of the first show, first Double or Nothing. This is the second one. I am looking forward to it. Yeah, that was like one of our first real times to hang out as friends and get to know each other, and then it was great, and I'm looking forward to next year in Las Vegas. I mean, I'd reserve my hotel right now if they booked out that far, because I know we'll be there.
We're ready to be there.
Yeah,
We already have our tickets in.
Yes, and it's going to be a good time. Do you have anything else, Tiffany?
I do want to say that any of the ladies listening to the podcast, make sure you go to Brandy's Twitter and check out AEW Heels. It's just been announced. There's still a lot of info to come, but it's basically going to be a movement for women who love pro wrestling, and I think that's the coolest thing. It's never been done before, and I think Brandy is just such a forward thinker. She's always just in any way she can, as Chief Branding Officer, as far as inclusion with Culture City, and just everything she does is just really well thought out, and she puts a lot of passion into it. So I think this is going to be something really special. If you go to her Twitter, you can get to the tweets with all the info, because I don't want to mess up tags and this and that, but it's AEW Heels, so if you just look it up, you'll find it. There's going to be a Zoom party tomorrow at 7 Central Time, I believe, and you can still sign up for that. Again, all the info is on her Twitter, but that's just kind of the initial getting it out there to people and explaining more, so I will be a part of that. I have to work tomorrow. I'm going to try to get off a little early so I can get home and get on right at 7 rather than being late, but I will definitely give on my Twitter, and we'll talk about what is discussed in that. It's going to be Brandy and several other women from AEW. I just think the concept already is awesome, and I don't even know much about it, but I'm super excited to learn, and I think it's going to be special. So if you are one of the ladies who listen to the podcast, make sure you go to Brandy on Instagram or on Twitter and get more information about AEW Heels. I think this is going to be really cool for women who passionately love pro wrestling. So that I just wanted to make sure that we gave a nod to that.
Yes, and tomorrow night, also at 10 p.m. Eastern on TNT, AEW presents the Countdown to Double or Nothing. Make sure you tune into that to support the show, and, of course, watch Double or Nothing on Saturday. For Tiffany, this is Floyd. The next thing you'll hear is the second part of the prediction show with Amy. I don't know why I just blanked on her name. With Amy, we're gonna talk about our thoughts on the talk about her thoughts on the show as we continue going forward. And we are back on episode 62, the Double or Nothing preview. With me is the most positive woman on the internet, Miss Amy. How are you doing, Amy?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm actually in Brand Cutler cosplay right now.
Yeah, I saw that. It looked awesome. Just to let everybody know how this is going to go down. We're pretty much going to shoot through the Double or Nothing, and we're going to hear Amy's thoughts. Did you have any overall thoughts about Dynamite last night?
No, I thought it was a decent go-home show. I loved the end. Sending it off in the football field. I'm so excited about the Stadium Stampede. That is going to be awesome. It seemed like it set everything up nicely for Double or Nothing this weekend.
All right. Well, let's go through the card. Oh, and a last piece of information before we start. Reported by Dave Meltzer that Britt Baker is suspected to have a torn ACL. She'll be out 6 months to a year. But we're going to do the preview like that match is going to happen because we haven't got anything confirmed from either Britt or AEW, which is what I'm going to wait on before I know the matches. So the match will probably be changed tomorrow, but we are recording this Thursday night, so as of right now, nothing official has been announced. Just kind of letting everyone know exactly what's going on. All right, so we got the buy-in. We got number one contenders match for the tag team championship. Since the tag team title is not going to be defended at the show, this is pretty much the premier tag team match of the night. We got Private Party versus Best Friends. Amy, hit us with your thoughts.
Private Party all the way. I am going to be having some vodka cranberry in celebration of these guys hopefully taking the win for that number one contender spot.
Yes, I didn't say this earlier. I've decided that I'm going to kind of we're having a few friends over. We're staying under the 10. We're going to have a few friends over. We're going to spread out a little bit. But I am buying some Broken Skull IPA and some Terramana liquor. If you know, Broken Skull is for Stone Cold. Terramana is the Rock's tequila. I'm just going to keep this whole thing wrestling themed.
That sounds like a fantastic idea.
Yes, so I think that's the plan. And, Private Party, we got to take shots.
Exactly.
When they are in the ring. But Amy's prediction is Private Party. If we see it your way, we could be having Private Party versus Kenny Omega and Hangman. And I don't know when the match is going to happen because it's just to be the number one contender. Now we'll go through the main card, and we are going to start with that, as Tony Schiavone calls him, Rat Bastard MJF against the Jungle Boy. In a one-on-one match, MJF will be accompanied by Wardlow, Jungle Boy, maybe Marco Stunt or Luchasaurus. Luchasaurus has a match later on the card, so I don't know. But who you got? What are your overall thoughts on the match and who you got?
MJF could be fighting Peter Avalon, and I would still vote for Peter Avalon. I'm totally going for Jungle Boy in this, simply out of spite. I'm sure MJF will win here, but oh my gosh, I would love, honestly, to see Jungle Boy win this. I know he's not going to, but I don't care. So I'm going to vote in this what I want to see happen, which is I would love to see Jungle Boy get a victory out of this.
Yeah, you have to think whoever wins this match, whoever wins this match is going to be looking either at the TNT title, maybe the world title later, because, they have to be contender. This will be a big singles win on a pay-per-view.
Yeah, it's going to be MJF.
Yeah.
But I'm still going for Jungle Boy. I can't vote for the boil on the ass of life over here.
And then a match that was announced last night on Double or Nothing, kind of out of nowhere. We got the unretired natural Dustin Rhodes, I have to say that, versus the chairman of AEW, the head of the Spears News Network. What is it? Was it Spears News Network?
Sean Spears News.
Sean Spears News, SSN. Mr. Sean Spears. With pretty much zero build other than him tearing down Dustin and Cody, how do you think this one's going to go?
I feel like Dustin's going to get this one because he lost in a very dramatic fashion to Lance Archer, and that ended up being a pretty big storyline that they worked with Sean Spears, Dustin, and Cody. So I think Dustin's going to take this one, but again, I would love, and I know Tiffany is going to be in a disagreement, and I'm pretty sure you are too, but I would love to see Sean Spears get this because I love Sean Spears. I really do. He's been such a highlight of the Empty Arena shows and with the Sean Spears network or news or whatever. He's been awesome. So I would love to see him start to climb the ranks, but I feel like this shouldn't be that time where that starts. So I feel like this has got to go to Dustin, even though I would love to see Sean Spears win here.
Well,
sorry.
Well, everybody heard. I went pretty heel heavy, and I was like, if you're going to say wins and losses matter, and what happened in the previous match means something, is Dustin fully recovered from his Lance Archer beating? I think Sean Spears, called him out to get him to come back a little early, and I think he's coming back before he's ready. So I went with Sean Spears also.
Awesome. Yeah, I realized I got to do some hard line predictions here. So yes, Sean Spears is my prediction.
Yes, and if this match happens, thoughts and definitely prayers with Britt Baker. If she is actually injured, definitely speedy recovery. But if she is not, she will be wrestling the galaxy's favorite alien. I think that's what it is. Chris Statlander versus Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Your thoughts?
I gotta go with Chris Statlander here. She's my girl. Like, she's from the Andromeda Galaxy. So I'm with Chris Stat all the way. She has been absolutely phenomenal. The match that was on Dynamite, Chris Stat and Nyla tore it up. It was amazing. So I'm all aboard this spaceship here. I hope that Britt is able to wrestle this match, because 6 months to a year, right when she just took off with her heel work, would suck. But I'm sure we'll still see her in some capacity with AEW talking smack to Tony Schiavone.
I was just talking to a friend on Messenger, and I was like, man, if we got a Brit vlog every week where she pretty much just tears down people, that could tide me over while she's out. But again, ACL surgery is not anything to mess with. So if in any way she is not injured, I would be very happy about that. Then we have the casino ladder match for an AEW world title shot. We got 8 contenders. First, we got to go with the 9th person. What is your guess?
So I had no idea, at all. And, this is going to sound really silly, because I'm sure you and Tiffany both have really smart, intelligent, wise guesses as to who they could be. But I'm looking at Double or Nothing, and I'm like, Brandon Cutler's not on the show. And he's always on these big shows, in the opening or whatever. Like, where is he? So I'm almost wondering if our 9th entrant might be Brandon Cutler and Peter Avalon, because as you said before we started recording, jobbers can have 2 people count as 1. And they've got a whole storyline where they're both losers at the same level, and I want to see one of them go over the other. So that would be a silly thing. It's probably nowhere in the ballpark of what's happening. But as I'm sitting here in full Brandon Cutler cosplay right now, talking to you, I would really love to see him. So I'm just going to shoot it out there. I'm just going to shoot my shot and hope that he's out there.
8 serious competitors out there. You can have one fun one. I also had just a fun thought that would be the fun thought. Nasty Leroy should be the 9th wrestler. He has gotten
It's going to be a crazy time, though, dude. That ladder match?
Yes. If he could come out to Return of the Mac, because I saw a video of him dancing to that song, that would be amazing. I don't know. I'm just being silly at this point. But it's one of those things. You have 8 people. That the whole thing about this ladder match is you have 8 people, and any of the 8 could win, and they could tell a compelling story with the 8th. So if you wanted to do something throwaway or funny with the 9th person, you could. If you wanted to go serious, you can do that too. You got Tiffany's guess was Pentagon. I would love that because he's one of my favorite wrestlers. My guess was Joey Janela, just because it's a plunder match, and that's what Joey Janela does.
That would make a lot of sense. Heck yeah.
That's what Joey Janela does. And, whoever it is, they're going to earn it and they're going to tear it down. What is your prediction? Who do you think is going to win it? Who do you think is going to pull down the poker chip?
Well, I will say that if Brandon Cutler and Peter Avalon came in there, Colt Cabana's there too. They could team up and try to take out some of these serious contenders with their sense of fun. So I'm just going to throw that out there. Honestly, I think that Scorpio Sky or Darby Allin, one of those two. And I think that Scorpio Sky is closer. Is this a number 1 contender?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I think Scorpio Sky might be closer to that title shot, and I would love to see him in it. But honestly, any of these guys, Rey Fenix, Darby Allin, Scorpio Sky, those 3 would be amazing, and I would be thrilled to see them win and get a number 1 contender shot. Unless they just want to throw it into Yano and have Colt Cabana get it, whatever. That's fine too. But I think it's going to be Scorpio Sky, so that's going to be my prediction.
Yes, that was my prediction. We did not talk before this. There was no. She did not listen to the beginning of the show. We both picked the same person. That's kind of awesome.
Wow! Out of all of those people, that's amazing.
Yeah. Then we have a no disqualification, no count out. AEW Women's World Championship match. We have the native beast Nyla Rose against the multi-talented Hikaru Shida. She's one of those people, if she was my friend, I would hate her because she's good at everything. And you can't be good at everything. You can be exceptional in one thing, but don't be good at everything.
You gotta suck at something.
You gotta suck at something. Good Lord, it's just like, dude, yeah, she's good at everything. And so we got this, and I was talking about earlier, and I'm going to reiterate this, so you have to hear it again, is that during the quarantine, they have done a great job with Shida, building her up as the contender, as a real threat to Nyla Rose. So I got to ask, with that in mind, who you got?
So I know that a lot of people want to see Shida win. She has been in the number one contender picture they mentioned on Dynamite, for 12 weeks. That's a long time to not have, this victory. But Nyla Rose, man, she has been a stellar champion. She's been a ring general. Whenever there's been issues in the ring with a match, she's been the one to take charge and make the calls on the fly from the outset to finish things up. She is dominant. She's powerful. She's a badass. She's my champ. So I got to go Nyla on this one. And I know that everyone's going to be real happy to see Hikaru Shida win. And I know it would be well-deserved for her, but I don't want to see Nyla lose. Yeah. So I'm going with Nyla.
If you look at all of wrestling, it's kind of weird. So New Japan in January crowned a new champion, Naito. And he got to defend the title once, and then this happened. So you really haven't got to see who Naito is as champion. Then you look at Nyla, who won when she won it. You really haven't got to see who she is as champion because of the quarantine. So it's like, it's not just one company. It's a lot of companies going through this whole, the champion has the belt, but you haven't got to see who the person is as champion because of the quarantine. So I don't feel like we've gotten enough of Nyla. So I wouldn't want her to lose personally because of that. Because, a lot of people would say, her run was a dud, but it was like, she never really got to be champion. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. No,
I think this is just her second defense, right?
Yeah, she had one with Chris Stat, which I completely forgot about because the last match on Dynamite was like so aiming for Chris Stat versus Nyla. And I was like, I want to see this match. And then I was reminded that happened at Revolution and Chris Statlander had the flu, and it was still a good match, but the tag match blew everything else out of the water. So I actually forgot it happened. So I would love to see Nyla mix it up, especially now that the women's roster has gotten a bit more seasoning and we're getting to see a lot more chemistry in between the members of the roster. I want to see her go with more people.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. But yeah, I don't think there's a wrong answer in this one. Then we have the match me and Tiffany are most looking forward to. Iron Mike Tyson presenting the TNT Championship in the finals of the TNT Championship tournament. We have Cody, the American Nightmare Cody, versus the Murder Hawk Monster. Probably the coolest nickname in professional wrestling. I challenge you to find me a better one. Lance Archer. In Cody's corner will be Arn Anderson and Brandy Rhodes. In Lance Archer's corner will be Jake the Snake Roberts. Star power all the way through this. Who you got?
This is a really tricky one. I think Cody's going to win this match. But the question to me is, because we've already seen Cody lose. We've already seen Cody get the rug pulled out from under him. And I'm not sure how much it serves anyone to have it happen again. But the question that I have is whether Cody is going to win cleanly and come out of this as the person that everybody's rooting for, or if we're going to see what MJF and Sean Spears have been talking about with his tunnel vision. And with what happened with Brandy, are we going to see something happen to Brandy and Cody will still come out victorious, but at the expense of people closest around him?
Yeah. I that's a good point that I didn't take into consideration. I even said, I'm rooting for Cody. I understand if Lance wins. It actually, if let's just say this was another company, I would, with Mike Tyson being the enforcer, I would 110% say Lance Archer has to win. Because if Cody wins, there's no conflict between him and Tyson, right?
This is true.
But if you're building a conflict, you know, it's better with Lance Archer or Jake the Snake Roberts. Or Arn Anderson then threw a curveball into it and says, Mike Tyson has a run to the place. He can do whatever he wants to do. So I'm like, he just might have something to do with the end of the match.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of potential here, you know, because you've talked about Arn Anderson and his history with the Rhodes family.
Yeah.
Obviously, Jake the Snake and his history, and Cody Rhodes and his personal history of being, you know, the hero that everybody strives to be, and then also the conflicted villain. So I would love to see a return to the conflicted villain. I might be a little biased in that, but I think that there's a lot of
Villain Cody is
here.
my favorite Cody.
Yes,
Because
absolutely.
to me, he gets a lot of unnecessary hate. I would love for him to give people an actual reason to hate him.
But I think that there's enough moving pieces here that could happen. And if it doesn't happen, honestly, I might be a little disappointed. But I'm sure this is going to be an amazing match, an amazing outcome. You've got Mike Tyson. Like, this feels big match, big sports, legendary. And it's going to be really cool to see.
And it's crazy, as a Cody fan, I prepare him to the I know it's AEW's young, so you can't have the streak, but he's the AEW Undertaker. Like,
yeah,
he really is. They bring these people in, and of course you think Lance Archer. They don't forget about history. Mox just beat you for your title. I was like, man, Lance Archer is going to come in and go after Mox. No, he comes in and goes after the face of the company. He comes in and goes after Cody. That's Undertaker shit right there. You know what I mean? Being Cody has almost been more than being the world champion in AEW.
Yeah, you don't need the championship when you're Cody Rhodes and you got that pyro with that entrance and everybody chanting your name.
Yeah, you're the EVP. You got all the videos with you know, jumping on the plane with Tony like your best friend. You're the face. You're the face of the company. You're kind of like what Triple H is to NXT. Cody is to AEW. We all know Tony runs it. We all know Vince runs it, but they're the faces of their respective companies. So going after Cody almost and getting a win over Cody almost means more than being the champion. Almost.
For sure. But, you know, the championship would be nice, too.
No, championship's super important. It's a beautiful belt. I can't wait to own a replica of it one day. It's a beautiful title. But I'm just saying how they've built Cody up. Like, when he lost the world title and he can never face for it again, I was really upset at first. And then I've seen how they booked him, and it's just like, they book him like he's the world champion.
Cody is the title.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so
yeah, I hear you.
So so you saying Cody goes heel and beats Lance Archer?
I think so, or at least we get some conflict because we've got conflict in the Elite, and I think we got some conflict in Cody Rhodes too. I could be wrong, but it's in there. He's got some potential in there to go to the dark side a bit.
Nightmare Family turning into a heel faction. I'm all about that. I'm all about it. I already got the gear, so it'll make it easy for me.
There you go.
All right. So the next match, we have the AEW World Championship match. We were just talking to you about this particular title. We got the Exalted One, Mr. Brody Lee, versus the champion, Jon Moxley. Okay, so you didn't get to hear the first part of the show, so I'm going to tell you, me and Tiffany's thoughts, and we kind of agreed on this. The match itself is interesting, right? And they've done a good job building it. But because I feel like I 100% know the results, I have my interest in the match. It's probably the match I'm least interested in on the show.
I'm always that way. Whenever I know the outcome of the match, I just check out. Like it's hard to tune in. It has to be a really good match. So when Moxley fought Frankie Kazarian, I started to check out pretty quickly because I was like, okay, whatever. Like Moxley's going to win. This is going to be fine. But Frankie Kazarian, I got to see him wrestle in a way that I hadn't before. So that pulled my interest back in. This one, I thought for sure Mox was going to win it. I was like, no question. You're not going to take the title off Mox. But then I'm like, how do you kill Brody Lee? Like, how do you just kill the Dark Order? Like, that doesn't make sense either. So now I guess I'm going to be mad and the Dark Order is going to win from their shenanigans. I don't know. I really don't know how this match is going to go now. Because as soon as I think about it from like a booking standpoint, all of these different lines get crossed. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, you've got Jon Moxley. He's a strong champion. He's a great champion. Everybody loves him. Like when his music hits, that's just money right there. He comes out. It's great. But you've been building up the Dark Order for so long. Brody's debut has happened during empty arena shows. He hasn't even really been introduced to the fans' experience yet. And how are you going to crush the Dark Order unless he wins and then the Dark Order just dismantles him and then he's not able to come onto the show because he's storyline injured or something? I don't know. I don't know how this goes. So I guess I'm going to call Brody Lee victory, and that's going to suck. I know. I hate it. I really want Moxley to win. I think Moxley's going to win. But I kind of got to go to the Dark Order here, and, you know, they've already got the title.
I've seen two different, I mean, I have, like, when I'm, like, watching wrestling for the last 30 years or whatever, it comes up with two things. I don't think the feud should end here. That's my big thing. But I don't think you should give Brody Lee the title.
I don't think so either. I'm so mad that this match is even happening right now.
Yeah, that's what I made that point on the show, is that I love the matchup. I really do. I just don't think Brody Lee has established himself as that monster, you know what I mean, for Moxley yet. And it's like you have to have the world title. At the same time, they got to
go with somebody. Yeah. You can't have Mox and Kenny Omega now. That needs fans. You can't have Mox and MJF. That needs fans. You know, obviously all the matches need fans, but there are some matches that really need fans.
Yeah.
And who else is there? Like Lance Archer right now is mixing it up with Cody so he can climb the ladder and, you know, emerge victorious. We've got all of the Inner Circle and the Elite already occupied in other situations.
Pac
so it kind of
UK.
Exactly. Like you kind of have to do it. Pac would be so good. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, maybe Mox is the obvious choice here. And then you have the Dark Order doing shenanigans afterwards. Maybe. Because you got to have Brody Lee still look strong. You can't weaken somebody like this with their first big match. So yeah, I don't know. I don't like it.
From the Dark Order cost him the match. And he has, you didn't beat me. You know,
number 10.
Yeah, so the minions let me down. Yeah, or I don't think number 10 is going to be there.
No, it'll be, what if Evil Uno does, though? Because,
that's what I'm like. You know, it could be one of the Beaver Boys or somebody just, you know, accidentally screws Brody Lee over and Moxley escapes. And that way you can continue with the storyline on Dynamite. I don't know. It's just like I said, in my head, it's like I'm 98% sure Mox was going to win. But I can say this. I was 94% Jericho was going to beat Mox at Revolution.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough call. I mean, I kind of think that I'm sort of overcompensating by thinking Brody's going to win because I would be so upset about it. So I'm like, I guess he's going to win and that's going to suck. So I don't know. I guess I'll go Mox with shenanigans at the end because you got to keep Brody strong. And it'll end up being a good match. I will end up eating my words when we convene again, and it will be awesome.
Yeah, maybe Mox goes crazy and beats Brody Lee with the belt and gets DQ'd.
Maybe.
I mean, there's a way. There's a way. Because, you know, there's this big army of people. Then we have the main event, the big event. The thing I probably am looking most forward to in life
Me too.
The Stampede, Stadium Stampede, Inner Circle versus the Elite. I went off for about 10 minutes on all the different things that could happen in this match. So, Amy, I'm going to give you the floor.
I've never seen a wrestling match in a football field.
I can honestly say, me neither. I mean, I've been to WrestleMania where it's a ring inside of a football field, but they
get to be at the football field. The field is painted for AEW.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Yeah, I'm so excited about this match. This is my main event. This is I cannot wait to see this match. And there are so many moving pieces to this. I love conflict. I love interpersonal strife. And we just saw Hangman Page return last Dynamite. And again, we've got that Hangman Page is isolated feeling and, the Elite are not fine. But we also have an added wild card now because Matt Hardy and Kenny Omega have been teaming up together. And Matt Hardy could be seen from Hangman Page's perspective as having taken his place in the Elite. So I think that, the Inner Circle is so cohesive right now. They're so strong. They're together. They're coordinated. They've got everything on lockdown. They are a legit unit. And the Elite are crumbling. They've got distractions up the wazoo. They're freaking out amongst each other. And I think the Inner Circle is going to win this one. And I think we're going to see, fireworks, and we're going to see the Inner Circle having claimed the stadium. I think that's how it's going to go down. I love the potential for a conflict in the Elite story. And I love the potential for that to be something that develops or even potentially turns into some singles matches or tag matches or some sort of interactions further down the line as we head up to the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, it's one of those things that this whole thing is no DQ. It's like you got these 10 excellent artists, and what you have is a football field as their canvas. And you get to watch them paint this picture of destruction and craziness, and it's just going to be epic. And new rivalries.
It's going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah, the new rivalries can be created from it. You have all the way until September to build rivalries to your next pay-per-view. That's not including if they do any special shows during the summer. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be nuts. The one thing I pointed out earlier is one of the most creative minds in professional wrestling is Kenny Omega, and you gave him a football field.
So we have actually Kenny Omega, Matt Hardy, and Chris Jericho.
Yes.
Are three of the most creative minds in wrestling.
Yes.
And they've got a football field. They've got no DQ. They've got the world at their fingertips. This is going to be the coolest match
They got
ever.
drones. They have drones and moving cameras. Jacksonville's
so
NFL stadium. It's set up for camera angles at every point. It's like Tony Khan's like, go. Here's the finish, go. That kind of thing. It's like, I'm thinking they're probably still coming up with ideas right now. I don't think by any means how this match is going to play out is decided yet. And that excites me because it's one of those things, I don't care who wins. At all.
Totally. Legit.
I don't care who wins. This is about the ride. This is
we
a
all
roller
win
coaster. This is a roller coaster. This is an amusement park. This is a match. When they're like, well, someone's going to come out like, they put this person over. Who cares?
I don't care. Everybody got put over. A damn football field got put over.
Yes. At this point, I'm going to be like, who cares? This is about fun. This is truly a 30 to 45 minute area where I'm telling you right now, turn your brain off and just enjoy. Don't be like, well, that's not real and that's not this. No, turn your brain off. I'm telling you right now, just savor it. If I start hearing about missed spots and booking, I'm gonna get on my own account and bury you because you're missing the point if you're talking about that. You're missing the point. You're missing the point of this whole match. This whole match is the cherry on top of the dessert. It's like, and it's going to be violent, and they're going to put their bodies on the line, and it's just going to be gorgeous. I
will say, if there's one good thing to come out of coronavirus, it's this.
Yes.
Because this would not be happening at Double or Nothing were it not for the fact that we have an empty arena show. And AEW, to their credit, is constantly coming up with creative ways to sort of adapt and get around and try something new and still be exciting and fresh.
Yes.
And this is something that's never been done. It's going to be exciting as hell. And they've got a whole freaking football field. Like, that would not be happening right now.
Yeah.
Were it not for the fact that we have empty arena shows. I just hope that they're able to mic everybody well. Because at Dynamite, when they first started cutting to the football field, and Chris Jericho was talking and you couldn't hear him. So I'm hoping that they're able to mic everybody well because, dude, you got to be able to hear Chris Jericho. Other than that, I'm just going to sit back. I'm going to have another vodka cranberry, grab some popcorn, and enjoy the hell out of the show.
All right. Yeah, that's the only way. That's the only way to do it. Look forward to the show. Enjoy it at home. Grab your favorite snacks, favorite beverages. If you want to have a few friends over, be aware. Be socially aware, socially distant, all that things if you decide to do that. Also, the idea, JR put the idea out there of a Zoom party. If that's something that you want to do, definitely do that. Just find a way. To me, I know some people might enjoy watching wrestling alone, completely cut off from everyone else. If that's your way, I have no problem with it. But if you are me, who's a social wrestling watcher, who likes to feel a part of the community, there is a lot of different ways. Just reach out. Actually tag All Things Elite, the Twitter page, and we'll try to get someone out there and connect you with some group that's going on. I'll be tweeting live during the show. I'm imagining Amy and Tiffany will be putting stuff in the show, and I'll be retweeting everything they put up, and it's going to just be a grand time. But we're gonna end on the thing. How sad are you that you're not in Vegas right now?
Dude, I'm crushed. Like, I did this cosplay today because I was so bummed out, and I hate being sad because I'm just like, this is such a waste of energy. I'm just sitting here like moping all day, thinking about all the things that I would be doing and all the people that I would see and missing everybody so much. So I then decided that the positive side of it is that we have a world where AEW puts on such amazing events with such a great spirited community that we're so lucky to even be in a position where we have such a tight-knit group of friends to miss so much. But yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, like I am one of those people that I go to work all the time, and you never hear me complain about going to work. I never complain about it because I feel so fortunate to have a job that I have. I love it, but I am definitely Dante from Clerks right now. I'm not even supposed to be here today. The kind of thing. It's just, that's my head. I'm supposed to be in Vegas. I'm supposed to be at a comedy show tonight. Maybe going to, if they did StarCast or something like that. I'm supposed to be gambling. I'm supposed to be having legal marijuana. I'm supposed to be doing all sorts of things that I normally, that I don't do at home because,
You'll find the teddy bears, the gummy bears.
Yeah. I'm supposed to be a part of the private party, shot.
Exactly.
I'm supposed to be buying Hangman a beer.
I'm supposed to be watching Andy do magic everywhere.
Exactly.
And
and see Eric Bischoff just randomly sitting at the bar. That's what I'm supposed to be enjoying right now. And it's just like
running into Scorpio Sky and him jamming out with Mikey Ruckus and Frankie Kazarian.
Yep. And Tiffany and Alex, and then all these people. Kel, don't forget.
Yes.
So, we were supposed to be with them and hanging with them, and it's just like, I'm only bringing this up not to bring it down, but just to tell
thanks,
you.
Floyd.
No, just to tell people that if you're listening and all that stuff, we are the positivity podcast. But we have real feelings.
But we miss you, and we're really sad about it, and it sucks, and we miss you.
Yes, we absolutely miss you. I miss the community. It gives me life. Some people come back from a vacation and they're like, oh my God, I got to go back to work. I'm like, oh my God, I get to go back to work. But because of work, I get to go do this thing again in 3 months, that kind of thing. That's how my brain works. It's like I get to go do this in Labor Day and whenever the next event is. And it gives me this, it almost makes me just grateful for my existence being around all these positive and loving and caring people. So, yeah, it's like I haven't got that injection in a while. You know what I mean? Haven't got my happy juice. So
for sure.
yeah. So no, yes. So Amy, I look forward. I see y'all kept y'all tickets for next year, right?
Yep, we sure did because friends of ours, the Schwabs, are sitting in the same row as us. So I think there's a seat in the middle, and then it's the two of them. So we've got friends in our row that we were going to hang out, watch from Double or Nothing with. We kept the seats so that we could hang with them again next year. We saw them at Double or Nothing and All Out last year. So, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so the countdown to Double or Nothing 3 starts right after this ends.
Exactly.
In Las
Let's go
Vegas.
2021.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. Amy, do you have anything else?
No, man, just sit back, enjoy the show. And you know what? Twitter's going to be the live crowd. Let's make the best of it, make the most of it, and have a great time.
Yes, we'll have some wrestlers out in the crowd representing us. Austin Gunn, I fully expect you to lose your voice again, cheering your ass off because you are me in the crowd, you know what I mean? And it's just, we thank everybody that participated in the contest. We announced the winners earlier. One of the winners was our good friend Jackie Rodriguez. I love that it was her. And let me tell you, it's about. I go to random.org, and I just pressed the button, and the first two names that came up were the winners. She was 2. It was awesome. So I hope you listen to Double or Nothing. We're going to get a reaction out as soon as possible. I'm pretty sure Tiffany will have a reaction up on Heart of the Elite. She has her predictions and previews on Heart of the Elite already posted. So make sure you're following Heart of the Elite on YouTube. For Amy, this is Floyd reminding you, whether you're at home or as we're going back out into the world, work, or you're in front of your computer doing school, always do your best to be elite.